Hi everybody, it's a bit of a different video today. Instead of a song or a DJ stream, I'm going to be doing a review of the DDJ-SB3. I bought this maybe 2 weeks ago. I before had a new market party mix. I'm sold. I'll maybe do a review on that at some point. So this is basically my first serious controller. So I bought it 2 weeks ago. I've had time to play around with it, and I'm just going to give you my honest review on it in all its detail, its build quality, features, how it works with my choice of software, stuff like that. So yeah, enjoy. Okay, so if you could ignore my feet and my huge hands, I'm going to get started. I'm going to do just some onboard stuff, and before we get into software and things, because then I'll minimize the camera so you can see the software behind this overlay. Just going to begin with this. So first thing that caught me by surprise is the size. Now I thought, looking from pictures, it was going to be a lot smaller. I was very surprised how big it was. Let me try and find something for point of reference. Here's a reasonably sized mouse. I don't really have anything that you can put as a reference, to be honest. And so really, it's actually quite big. You would think it'd be smaller for a beginner controller, especially a controller at this price point. Sorry, I've got hay fever. It really is quite big. Put it also against my hand. I've got pretty big hands, to be fair. Sorry, I really don't have anything that I can put this against. So barring the massive size, like I said, the thing that pops up for me at first is all the jog wheels. Now they are touch sensitive, which means that one, you can scratch with them, you can scratch with them. Then also, because they're touch sensitive, if you've got a track playing, you can also use these side bits or these grooves here without actually scratching. I'll get into that a little bit later. In terms of build quality, very nice. No, I will be honest, these are probably the best jog wheels you'll get on a beginner DJ controller. Like I said, Pioneer, they make quality stuff. You're going to get quality for your buck. Nice, good. You can't feel the touch sensitive plates that are under here that have the little bumps. It's nice plastic or glass coating over this, so it feels smooth, feels nice. Nice sensitive jog wheel, good grooves over here for your fingerprints. So you can do a whole almost a 360 with these things. So great for nudging. Now onto the FX section. Nice knob here. Also the knobs all very nice, but nice knob here. Does like a 280, like a 300. Nice little things, plastic, good feel for your effects. Same with all the buttons here, barring the pads. They're plastic, they're nice. These buttons over here, like the shift and the loop halfer and timeser and time multiplier, are plastic. There's no lighting, but they do again feel good. The play and cue buttons also feel great. They've got that CDJ feel, so you can give it some real abuse. I wouldn't do it. Just in case, because it is still, it's not a $1,000 Nexus controller, Nexus CDJ 3000, but it is a good player that you can tap a good couple of times and expect good results. Moving on to the EQ section, like I said, you've got your trim, your high, your mid, your lows, and your filter. Again, very good quality stuff here. You've got a bit of a tainty brown stuff, I won't lie, but it gets the job done. Some load buttons like usual, and then your master, your headphones. Nice, I love this style of queuing where you can see which ones you can select which deck you want to hear, and then you can also hear the master as well, which means that you don't have to have your speakers so loud that your parents have to go at you. Very good, nice, good resistance on the sliders, nice quality stuff. Crossfader, I'm not big into scratching, but if you're a scratcher, this crossfader is nice. You've got good little sense here. You can get across it nice and forward. Got a good VU meter, very visible. I found a problem with some other stuff I looked at is that you couldn't really see this part. You can see it, it's absolutely great. Moving on to the loop, you've got a vinyl and slip, you've got your auto loop or reloop exit, and you've got your hard and tour, which double with the shift as in and out. Personally, I would have liked a separate in and out button, but like I said, motor controller, I'm happy where it is right now. Moving on to your temper faders, again very nice, got a little groove in the middle, so you know where you hit your 0, 0. You got key lock and a tempo range, but for me, I would have put the money, at least I put towards this in a different section. I don't really see, it's not a thing I'm regularly adjusting during my sets, but I can see the use for it, so I'm not complaining. It's there, and I'll use it if I need to. And then onto the pads, they're nice pads, they're not pressurized, but have a click. but they're nice pads, and unlike these buttons or the buttons on the new mark, they're not hard plastic, so they feel good. And honestly, I'm happy with them because they are these type of pads. I'm happy with them being thick pads. It's not a problem. Sorry, as he was really getting into this. I'm gonna wipe my nose quickly before continuing. We've got 4 little hammers up here with shift. You can double them into the 8 hammers that come with it. And then quickly just onto the outputs. I can't really lift it up. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me see if I can adjust the camera just a bit so you can get a better sense. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cable issue right now, so moving stuff isn't the best. You've got a mic input over here with a bit of a very flimsy, very cheap mic gain knob. I wouldn't use that if I you. If you've got a PA system like the one I've got, I'd use that rather. Then it's got your normal, your RCA, good quality, and then your USB over here. And then at the back, you've got your headphones. So it's it's not like I said, it's not mixer level outputs. It's very big in a controller, but it's not bad sound quality. The RCA gets a good signal. There's no high pitched frequency all the time even if you're not using it. So they're nice outputs. Like I said, I wouldn't use that mic output personally. I'd rather, I found that after you have a low or big the gain is, always cuts out and always lines at a certain time. Like I said, really not a bad build quality at all. In terms of faceplates, the mixer is metal. I don't know if you can hear that. Metal or it's hard plastic, but it feels very good. This, you would expect it's like CDJ level stuff here. And then the decks themselves are also plastic, but good quality plastic. It's not like I don't know if you can see, it's got these almost lines in it, which is quality stuff. It's really good. In terms of portability, like I said, it is bigger than I thought it'd be, which, I'm not going anywhere, barring to gigs and stuff. So portability, if you're looking for like a laptop case controller, this is not for you. It's a bit too big for that. I would suggest buying a case or just putting it back in the box and carrying it. It's got these little dents here that you can pick it up on. Like I said, good quality. If you drop this once or twice, it's not going to break immediately. I wouldn't do it. Please don't do it. But it's not going to just shatter on instant. So yeah, that rounds up the build quality and different features. All that I can explain without having a look at the software. Now this is a Serato controller, so as we go into the whole software technique stuff right now, just keep that in mind. This is built for Serato, although I use Virtual DJ. So if you are a Serato user, I would go find another review to use rather than this one. If you are a Virtual DJ user, I continue with this one. Alright, cool, so back in a second and I'll have the software up and ready to go. How do you pull that? Okay, we're back. So it's going to be a bit hard to see things because I've got a smaller, almost camera view. But if I need to, I'll maybe adjust this if I can. Let me just get my mouse ready. So the first thing, let's just start off with this. There you go. To start off, let's just go with the jog wheel. So like I said before, there is that feature where you can just minimize again. So I think I'll just keep it minimized just to save me doing that. There is a really loadable track just so you can see that one. So like I said, there is that feature where if you have vinyl mode on, you can scratch, but if the track is playing with vinyl on, because it's touch sensitive on this top, you can nudge without it actually scratching. If you go here, it'll scratch. So it's good to get a habit, even if you've got vinyl off, to start using this. So in case, one day you had a scratch on and you accidentally go down to nudge a track and you do this, which can be very temperamental, trust me. It's good just to get into the habit of using this rather, just as a safety, just in case. So joggers are fine. There's a bit if your CPU is overloading or you just opened up Virtual DJ, there's a bit of a nanosecond sensitivity issue, but it's not noticeable. I just picked it up because I did some stress tests just for this review, but nothing to worry about unless you are really looking into, this is going to be your controller for the rest of your life, or if you're a turntablist and you have certain turntables, you're looking for a controller that is made for scratching only. Otherwise, it's really, I wouldn't look at it at all. Over here to the effects section. It's a good effects section. You can have, I don't know if you can see, you can have 3 effects. all at once if you want to, or you can have them like that. They're post later, so you don't have to worry about cutting it off by accident. The good qualities, I've got echo, pitch, and noise on here. Like I said, very good, not bad at all, nice knob. I can't complain about it. It's a very good effect section for this kind of budget. Definitely overrides the DDJ-400, which is basically the record box version of this little Nexus mixer, which I hate. It's one of the things I despise mostly with Pioneer DJ, is that little Nexus mixer. I think it's a absolute, yeah. Anyway, that's my personal view. But if you are like me, not a fan of the Nexus mixer, you're not a fan of record box or anything that the DDJ-400 doesn't like, this little effects section is perfect to replace it. Then just onto the DDJ-400 quickly. That was the only thing I had against it, otherwise I might have gone that as well. Also, I'm not a big fan of record box, and I found as well that the pads were a bit smaller, the joggers were a bit smaller as well when I tested it in the shop. But that's besides the point. We're going to go back to the review now, but yeah. So FX section feels good, works great. The tempo fader itself, as much as it's good build quality, it's a bit small. For me, as somebody who, what I do, I get it. Let's say the song's 125, I'll get it to like 125. And if it's a 0.555, I'll use sync. So you can do minor adjusting, but it takes time. It's not a great tempo fader. So if I were you, I would take use of the sync button over here, just for those finer adjustments. Key lock works as said, so if I just have key lock or off, as you speed up the track, so will pitch. Oh, sorry. On, it will keep the pitch the same. So when making build-ups, maybe use it. Like I said, it's not big for me. It's an extra feature I didn't really need, but hey, I'll take it. Moving over here to the 4 and 3 deck. Now I'm not a 4 deck mixer unless I can have 4 TDJs and a mixer, which ain't gonna happen anytime soon. I'm not big into overlaying through the 4th deck and 3rd deck. I'm not big into that. But it does work. If I click that, I can load a completely different track and mess around with it. No, but personally, if you're buying this controller for the 4 deck compatibility, I wouldn't. It's not great for that. It doesn't even have 4 knobs here, so that's just an extra feature that if you really want to get technical, you can use. But personally, out of the box, I would not use it at all. Then over here to the shift button, that basically just makes different things. Like over here for the effects, you can do some parameter stuff, tempo range for the key lock, and as I go through, you'll see there's different bits for each shift button. Then just to jump to the EQ, like I said, gain, these work fine. You can set them in version DJ for full kill or just normal. This entire mix section works as it should. Filter knob, like they've all got the little dent in the middle to see when you hit 0, 12 o'clock position. So like I said, in the mixer section in version DJ works a-okay. Moving on to the pads. Now, if you are using Serato, you will only be able to use, in the Serato DJ Lite, you'll only be able to use these, the first 5. So that's going to be Hot Cue, FX Fade, Pad Scratch, Sampler, and Trance. I'll get to Trance now. But basically, something about my nose. That means you have to upgrade to Serato DJ Pro if you want to use those full features. Also means you won't be able to use Slip, which is the shift mode of vinyl. Basically means you can scratch, but the track will keep playing, so you can jump to that point when you're done scratching. Like I said, since I'm not a Serato user, I don't have to deal with this problem. The only thing you have to pay for Virtual DJ to get this is the license, which is $99. But there are certain websites out there on Google that will help you find a good discount if you get my drift to get the software free. It's a great little coupon code, so you know what I'm saying. But anyway, so like I said, the hot cues all work fine. I'll go through them all individually, but they all work as should. The pads are nice and responsive, work great. So first feature is the hot cue feature, obviously. You can set different hot cues and then jump back to them. I'm not a big user of hotkeys except to navigate through a track, but they work fine and that's good. Next feature is the FX fade. Now, personally for me, I don't use this thing at all. I think I like doing all my effects, either with the filter knob or with my effects section. So I'm not a fan of it. I don't enjoy it. But if you want to use it, it's predetermined effects. So I can. Stuff. Like I said, not my cup of tea at all, but if you're into it, it's there. And then the controversial flagship, thing of this controller is pad scratch. Just to give a load on, basically what this does, it will scratch from your first cue point. That's kind of I can't really show you the full feature, but you can see, scratching for me. Some basic baby scratches, flares, some Jazzy Jeff stuff. And then just onto that quickly, this came out very controversial. People thought, he was, when he helped Pioneer make this mode, people thought he was almost taking away the magic of scratching and DJing. For me, I think this thing is useless. It cannot do nearly as much as a person can with the actual jogs. So I think this pad scratch feature, if you really want to learn how to scratch properly, I wouldn't use it. There's no way that this is going to replace turntable scratching and using window crossfade and stuff like that. So I think Jeff personally didn't, he wasn't at fault for making it. I think that Pioneer could have made a better, mode with it. I think it's a waste of time, but I've got no problem with it. Boring. I think it's a waste of time, but I've got no problem with the whole idea of teaching people how to scratch. But yeah, so basically this will just do predetermined scratches on your mix from the cue points. Then you get to sampler, which normally, if you click it, will play a sample. I've got it mapped to my color effects and my sweep effects over here. So this is just something that I personally have to DJ with. I don't use sampler that much, except on my Akai over there, which I've got it set to. But for me, I've mapped this something different. I'll be putting the mappings for this in the description if you want to use it. Basically what I've done is I've just made it that it changes what the filter knob does. So filter, cut, echo, flanger, vocals, noise, loop roll, just for those, if you can't set them manually, just a quick way to build up, and pitch. These are my personal settings. The sampler, like I said, the pads are great. So if you want to use it for the original sampler mode, just playing certain sounds, you can, it's great. But then we get to the 8v4, the modes that can be combined with shift. Trance is basically like your cut or gate feature, but it's in pad mode. I have used it, so I wouldn't say it's useless. It's quite nice to rather have this than using a knob. It's great for build-ups, so it's not a bad. I'm pretty happy with this. It's not a bad feature all around. I'll quickly test it for you. So you've got manual. So you've got the manual one. You've got 2 beat. Oh, sorry, 1/3 beat, 2 beat, 1 beat, 4th beat, 8th, 16th, so second. So yeah, they're nice. Like I said, I use them, so I'm pretty happy with that feature. I think it's pretty good. And then you got slicer, which is not so much a useful feature, but it's pretty fun to play around with. Basically, what this will do is that it will set a certain 4-bar loop, and as you go through it, it will follow on the pads. And then every time you click on one of them, it will roll and play that part over and over again. So if I want to play a certain note, for example, pretty fun if you can combine it with some effects and stuff. It's pretty fun to play around with, and I do enjoy using it. I wouldn't overuse it in a set. It can get quite tiresome, but it's a pretty cool feature nevertheless. Then you get to roll, which is basically very similar to the slicer, but instead of having a certain point, it will just take whatever part you're in the track and gives you different variations of playing it over and over again. So like there's almost like a 2-bar loop, it's like a 1-bar loop, yeah, that's a car. So this is a good one if your loop section, you know, can't get something in the loop section, or if you've got quantize on, which I always do, and you want to get a bit more technical, or if you want to have a play around and just roll different areas, it's quite nice. I haven't used it a lot, but it's not a bad feature, I wouldn't take it away. Then we've got beat jump, which I have mapped to stems. Beat jump basically what it will let you to do is just jump in the song, because if you're too lazy to spin and scratch reel, then it lets you just jump between the songs. I think it's a pretty, oh, sorry about that, I think I've just, don't know what happened there, sorry, there you go, don't know what, sorry, I just got a pop-up for program, sorry about that. So I'll say beat jump to let you navigate through the track using the pads. Not a feature for me, I mapped it up to stems, which basically means I can just do this and take out certain parts of the song. Stems quite nice. It's unique to virtual DJ, I think. Quite nice if you are, you got a song, you just want to take out the vocals, or you want to take out the hi-hats or something. I wouldn't say you use this instead of using EQs. Always use EQs first, but if you want to have a little play around and create some mashups, this is a pretty good feature. And that's the pads. Like I said, good quality pads. They work great. Some modes I like, some modes I don't like. And then one last thing is that if you're a big mapper, if you like to make your own, like I do in Virtual DJ, the FX fade and pad scratch features, as well, I think the trance features are built in. You can't hack them, you can't code them. I tried to get rid of the FX fade section, doesn't work. So unfortunately, you'll have to find another mode, like I've done with Sampler, just put in your preferences. You can't change the FX fade pad scratch features. Alright, so that's the pads done, and then we go on to the loop section. So I've got it set to auto loop. You can change whatever what the loop actually does. I've got it set to a 4-beat loop. So then halve it. Great for creating build-ups, and then if you shift, you can delete it. Like I said about the in and out features, it is usable. In and out. So it's usable, but it's a bit, if you're new to having a just a separate loop control feature, it's a bit weird to get used to using shift as well. So I would have liked a separate in and out section, but hey, sorry. Oi! Coco! Sorry, she's just barking up the wrong tree, literally. There you go, shush babes. Sorry, but yeah, I would like a in-out feature, but you can't have them all. Then there's a sync button, that will just make the BPM the same, so I can just change that. It's good, like I said, I'm a manual beat matcher, but if you really want to get to those minor adjustments, I suggest using Q. Then you've got the Q and play buttons, they work, they work well. They work fine, nothing to complain there. Then your masks and stuff, they work good. These basically, all these features I've just listed, they will all work. And then either whether it's record box, Serato, Virtual DJ, algorithm, they all work the same, barring maybe pad scratch and some exclusive Serato features. So in terms of software, everything is sound. So that's basically the whole software roundup. These all work as they say, they'll work, these are your load buttons, they work fine, joggles are good, yeah, that's really all I can comment on at least. Just a quick thing as well, like I said, if you're a Serato user, barring the build quality section I did, this software section I would watch somebody else that did a Serato review, just because I use Virtual DJ. This is just a Virtual DJ almost setup review. And then so that's basically that's a software but these are versatile between softwares, like I said. Alright, so we'll move on to just a quick demo of using this thing, and then I'll get to the conclusion. You can't get that precise thing, just sync just to get it right.
One more time, celebrate and dance so free. Music's got me feeling so free. Celebrate and dance so free. One more time, music's got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free. One more time, music's got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free.
That, as well as the SB3, perfect beginner controller, always step up for bedroom DJs. I've honestly, barring those small problems, nothing bad to say about it. For me, compares highly over all the other controllers in its price range. Good quality. Pioneer, they've done amazing with this one. Highly recommended. I've been DJ Positive Con, and thank you for watching.